Welcome back, you guys. Seems like you've really thrown us into the deep end this time with these excerpts from Veronica Roth's Insurgent, picking up right after that just awful attack on Abnegation, orchestrated by Erudite, the faction that's all about, well, intellect.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting how this world is built on these really strict divisions, like abnegation with selflessness and dauntless with bravery. You have erudite with intellect, amity with peace, and then candor with honesty. But this whole attempt to keep things in order through separation has really backfired, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's led to this huge upheaval, and these lines are totally blurred now. It makes you wonder if any system that tries to put people into just one box is going to fall apart.
Wow, that's a really great point. And in this deep dive, we're going to be looking at what happens immediately after. We're basically following Trees, Tobias, and everyone with them as they try to find their way in this world where loyalties are like shifting sands, secrets everywhere. And sometimes just surviving comes down to who you trust, which can be really dangerous, as we see in the excerpts you sent.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as we go through these moments, I think it's so important to see how Roth shows the impact of this violence on everyone. These characters aren't just dealing with danger from outside, they're dealing with trauma, guilt, and trying to figure out who they are now that the world's changed.
So the part you sent us starts with Trace and the others escaping on a train. It's really tense. Trees is clearly carrying a lot emotionally. She's with Tobias, her brother Caleb, Peter, always got to keep an eye on Peter, and then Tobias's dad, Marcus. Like, talk about a stressful situation.
Yeah, seriously, you're stuck in that small space on the train, and all those tensions are just amplified. You've got people with totally different pasts and unsure futures all crammed together. And Triss, especially, is dealing with the weight of what she's done. Having Peter and Marcus there just makes it worse. It really makes you think about how shared trauma can either bring people together or tear them apart.
Right, and they're headed to Amity, the faction all about peace. When they get to Amity headquarters, it's like this immediate shift. Wooden buildings, people laughing. On the surface, it seems calm and peaceful, which is so different from what Triss and her group are feeling. Their first encounter is with Johanna Reyes, Amity's representative. What did you think about her when she's introduced?
Oh, Johanna. Her description is really striking, don't you think? I mean, she's got the scar, the blind eye, the lisp. Those aren't just random details, right? It really makes you think about her past.
Right.
Maybe a strength that's hidden beneath this peaceful front that Amity puts on. And when she greets Marcus, there's this sense of relief. But also that abnegation restraint. Like, even in this moment of crisis, you can see how the factions are connected. It makes you wonder how deeply these identities are really rooted in them.
It's true. And then more abnegation survivors start arriving. It's a harsh reminder of what Erudite did. Then we get a look into everyday life at Amity through Triss. That 5-minute shower rule, for example, just a small detail, but it speaks volumes about what they value.
Yeah, exactly. It shows how much Amity focuses on community and sharing, making sure everyone has enough, which is completely different from the other factions where people might be more, I don't know, self-centered. But with all this violence happening, you have to wonder, are those peaceful ways really going to be enough to survive?
Good point. And even though she's in this supposed safe place, Chris is still carrying her injuries, literally, a constant reminder of what she went through. So that moment when Susan gives her clothes, even though Susan's lost people too, it's really powerful.
Oh, it really is. It shows this basic human empathy that goes beyond the factions. Even in the middle of so much grief, you can still see that basic human compassion. It gives me hope.
Yeah, for sure. Then there's that silent amity meeting. It's really intense. Everyone's just still murmuring prayers. It's almost suffocating, especially for Triss, coming from Dauntless, where everything's so much more, well, loud. But in that silence, she and Tobias have this little moment.
It's like their safe space, you know? That touch between Triss and Tobias is so important to them. It's how they communicate when words can't be trusted and there's no real safety. I think it shows how much we all need connection, especially during a crisis.
But things don't stay peaceful for long in Amity. Triss sees Johanna and Marcus meeting secretly in the orchard, and she gets suspicious. What do you think is making her want to eavesdrop?
I think she's realizing that she can't just sit back and wait. Triss has learned the hard way that information is power and keeping secrets can be dangerous. I think her dauntless training and all the betrayals she's faced, they've made her way more cautious and less trusting of authority. She's not that naive abnegation girl anymore.
Oh, definitely not. And what she overhears is definitely not good. Marcus is clearly hiding something. He really doesn't trust the faction representatives. And his reasoning is, well, pretty scary.
When he says, The last time I trusted a faction representative with this information, all my friends were murdered. It just chills you to the bone. It really shows how brutal their world is and the risks involved in all this faction politics. You can't help but wonder who's going to backstab who next.
And then back at the Amity cafeteria, things are still super awkward.
Yeah.
Caleb, Susan, everyone's being polite, but you can feel that tension. And then there's that weird moment with Marcus and Triss's shoulder. What did you think about that?
It was creepy, right? I mean, Marcus touching her like that, it felt so intrusive. Especially with all the secrets and his history and abnegation, it just makes you uneasy. Like, what's he really up to? It's like Roth is purposely making us question everyone's motives.
Definitely. And all of this is starting to get to Triss. She has these nightmares. She looks to Tobias for comfort, but she can't tell him everything, especially about how she feels about Will. And not being completely open with each other is creating distance between them.
Yeah, I agree. Trust and vulnerability are so important in any relationship, especially when things are this crazy. If Trust can't tell Tobias everything, it's like a wall between them. They can't truly support each other. It makes you wonder if their relationship can handle all these unspoken things.
And then Peter pops up again. Never a good sign. He confronts Triss about watching Marcus. And, surprise, surprise, he's interested in that hard drive for himself. Peter's always got to be looking out for number one.
Peter's like the ultimate survivor, but he'll do anything to get ahead, even if it hurts others. Wanting that hard drive, it's probably about power. If he has it, he has control no matter who wins.
Makes sense. Tobias steps in to protect Triss and warns Peter off. But then the Amity's solution for Triss' outburst, sending her to the conflict room, it's almost funny considering everything that's happened.
It's almost like Amity is in denial. They think they can keep things peaceful by forcing everyone to be calm. It doesn't work when you're dealing with people who've seen and done terrible things. Sending Triss to a timeout, come on, that's not going to cut it. No wonder she's sarcastic about it.
It's true. And I think Tobias is starting to see that Amity's neutrality is actually dangerous. When he tells Johanna they're leaving, it's a turning point. He's not going to wait around anymore.
Yeah, he's done with that. He sees that not picking a side is still choosing a side. And that can be just as bad. Leaving Amity is Tobias taking action. He's not going to be a victim anymore.
You can tell he's frustrated. Then there's that whole thing with the serum. It's short, but it shows you how Amity operates and how strong Tristan Tobias's connection is. The way he shields her. They hide the hard drive again, showing how important it is and how much they're willing to risk.
Yeah, they're not messing around with that hard drive. And then, bam! Erudite vehicles show up at the fence. Suddenly, their safe place is a trap. They gotta run again. It really shows how far Erudite is willing to go.
Absolutely. Triss keeps her cool and suggests disguises. She's thinking fast. She's not letting go of that hard drive. It's not just data. It's the key to figuring everything out.
Definitely. And as they're running through the orchard and cornfields, you really feel the danger. It's interesting how Tobias reacts to the news about Marcus. Like, he's distant. It makes you wonder what their relationship was really like.
Yeah, that's so true. Jumping onto the moving train, that's classic Dauntless.
Mm-hmm.
And Caleb's erudite knowledge comes in handy. It's a crazy moment. But even then, there's this little exchange between Triss and Tobias about her shoulder. It's this little reminder of their connection in all this chaos.
You need those moments, right? And then, boom, they're with the factionless. It changes everything. This group led by Edward, it's like a whole new force outside the system. And then that huge reveal, Evelyn, Tobias's mom, is alive. Tobias's world just got flipped upside down.
No kidding. He thought she was dead, and now she's here. The shock must be huge. And then we find out why she left Abnegation. An affair. Man, the relationships in this book are complicated.
It's like a soap opera. But Evelyn coming back isn't just about Tobias. She's a powerful new player now. She has her own past, her own goals, and her time with the factionless has shaped her. It's going to shake things up for sure.
I bet. The introductions in this new group are so awkward. Everyone's got secrets and divided loyalties. Caleb's with Erudite now. Therese has her own past. Then they talk about that dauntless old age thing, which is so disturbing. It's dark. Like, they value bravery so much that anyone who can't fight is basically thrown away.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
But that's how their world works. And there's still tension between Tobias and Edward from stuff that happened before. It reminds you that even people who are supposedly outcasts, they still have their own baggage. Edward gives them intel on the factions. Dauntless is split. Abnegation is with the factionless. Candor's got their headquarters. It's all over the place.
Totally. Then Evelyn drops a bomb. The factionless have been keeping track of Divergent people, using info from Abnegation's aid work. This is huge. It means they knew about Divergence. Maybe they have their own reasons for being interested in it.
Oh yeah, definitely. But then just when you think they might get a break, they run into dauntless soldiers. And Triss and Tobias get arrested, even though they're in factionless territory. It's a reminder that Dauntless has changed, probably because of Erudite.
Yeah, probably. The interrogations are so tense. Triss seeing Christina again is bittersweet. Triss feels so guilty, and Christina's not the same anymore. And when Christina mentions the Candor Truth Serum, you know things are about to get real.
Right. And Tobias, he's so smart during his interrogation. He tells them his real name, but doesn't give away anything important about his parents. He knows how to control himself, even under pressure. And when he talks about recognizing Triss during the simulation, you can see how much she means to him. It was clearly traumatic.
You can feel it. And Triss's interrogation, it's so revealing. She says she didn't feel good enough for abnegation. That's why she chose Dauntless. It shows what she was struggling with. And when she says who she'd fight and die for, it's powerful. It's about those core relationships. And then, bam, she tells them she's divergent. Everyone's shocked. It's a major turning point.
Oh, yeah. And after the interrogations, you see how much this is all costing them. Therese can't really apologize to Christina for Will, and Christina's heartbroken. It shows how much damage has been done. You can't just undo that.
It's rough. And Triss goes to the pit to be alone. She's trying to escape her guilt. But when she and Tobias talk about what happened, it's painful. She feels like he's keeping secrets about his mom, about the factionless. It's creating a real rift between them.
They both need to be honest with each other. Back at Dauntless headquarters, things are bad. Lynn doesn't trust Divergent people, and then we find out that Dauntless was forced to kill Abnegation during the simulation. That's messed up. It shows how much Erudite was controlling them.
It's scary how much power they had.
Yeah.
Then there's tension with Shauna and Lauren, and then, boom, those Dauntless traitors attack with that sleep gas. It's chaos again. Triss is immune because she's divergent, but it also makes her a target.
It's a double-edged sword, that Divergence. And then Eric shows up and captures the Divergent people, including Uriah. It's scary how fast things are escalating. Uriah doesn't know much about Janine's plans. It's clear she's keeping things very controlled. And when Kang meets with the Dauntless, he tries to make it sound like Erudite wants peace, but Triss knows better. She exposes them with that whole simulation transmitter thing. She's really become a key player.
She's not backing down. Then the Candor talk about Triss and Will, and Kara tries to explain things, but it just makes Christina angrier. They start planning to meet with Janine, and Tobias ends up leading. They need Triss's analytical skills. It's clear she's valuable, but Tobias, he loses it with Marcus. It's intense. He's got so much anger because of his fear landscape. Taking back that ring, it's like he's taking back his life.
Taking control. And Triss with the gun, that's such a powerful moment. She's remembering all the violence. And choosing not to take it shows she wants to find a different way. She doesn't want to be a part of the cycle of violence. When she and Tobias leave to meet Jack Kang, you know it's not going to be good.
Oh, it's definitely not. They set up that ambush on the bridge, and it's all tense. Then Max just comes out and says it's not a negotiation. Everything changes. You can tell things are about to get real. And Tori, she's desperate to find Janine. She admits she wants her dead. It's intense. And then Triss reveals the truce between Dauntless and Candor.
Crazy how these alliances keep shifting.
Wow.
And disabling the security cameras, it's a good move. They're taking the fight to Erudite. When Lauren says that Dauntless will decide what happens to Eric, you see that power struggle. They need new leadership.
Yeah, they're done with the old ways. Eric's execution is rough. The way he asks for Tobias to do it, he wants Tobias to carry that burden. But Tobias, he doesn't hesitate. It shows how much he's changed.
He's not the same Tobias anymore. After that, there are these little moments of humanity, like Zeke comforting Triss, the cake they share, Marlene and Uriah. It's sweet. But when Triss watches Tobias in the Fear Landscape room, something's off. He's hiding something. And later, when they walk to the tracks, he mentions Erudite. Something's coming.
I bet. And then they meet with Evelyn and the factionless, and she's not very warm towards Triss. It's all about Tobias for her. She and Tobias agreed to team up against Erudite, even though Triss doesn't like it. There's this big rift growing between Triss and Tobias. She feels like she doesn't belong, and she's mad about how Evelyn treated Tobias.
And it just gets worse for Triss. When she goes back to the pit and sees Marlene and Hector and that young Dauntless girl on the ledge being controlled by the simulation, she tries to save Marlene, but it's too late. And then Janine sends that message through the simulation, targeting the Divergent. Triss is in serious danger.
It's heartbreaking. But at least Christina starts to understand what happened with Will, and she believes Triss. It's a small victory, but it means something. Things are still tense with Shauna. She's not happy. Uriah's divergent. And when Triss sees Tobias again, it's awkward. He doesn't want her to go to Erudite, and you can tell it's going to be a problem.
He's trying to protect her, but it's not his call. And Triss, she lies to Christina about where she's going, and she asks Christina to remember when the simulation attack happened. It's like she knows she might not see her again. That goodbye is heavy.
You can feel it. Then Trish shows up at Erudite headquarters, and Peter's there. It's creepy. You can see how scared she is as they take her deeper into the building.
Yeah, she's walking into the lion's den. But even though she's a prisoner, she's not giving up. She's strong. And then she realizes she's got some things in common with Janine, which is kind of disturbing. And demanding to see the brain scans before they execute her, that takes guts.
She's not playing around. But Peter, he's playing mind games with her about Tobias. It's cruel. Trish breaks down. She begs him to keep Tobias safe. It shows how much she loves him.
It's powerful. And then, bam, they simulate Triss's mom. It's this incredibly personal message. It gives her guidance, even though her mom's gone. It's a reminder that family can be powerful, even in death.
Really. When Trish finally confronts Janine, it's weird. Trish doesn't seem to hate her. Maybe she's too tired for that. Janine's setting up the execution and wants info about the factionless safe houses. Trish refuses and warns her about what could happen with those dauntless simulations. She's still fighting.
Always. And then they bring Tobias in, force him to comply. It's awful to watch. Fritz begs him to resist, but he can't. And then Janine, she reveals that Caleb betrayed Triss and her mom. It's devastating.
You can see the pain on Triss's face. But then everything explodes. Tobias disarms the guards and rescues Trish. She's confused. Then she sees Caleb, and the truth comes out. He knew what Janine was planning, and he tries to justify it. It's a huge betrayal. And then Peter, he steps in and warns them. He knows about Trish being paralyzed. It's crazy. They escape, barely.
Wow, talk about an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
They end up at Marcus's place, but it's full of factionless now. Things are tense. Evelyn tries to get Peter on her side. She and Marcus had this huge fight, and he's kicked out. It's like the old order is crumbling.
And Triss goes back to Abnegation headquarters to talks to Marcus, and he tells her something huge. The factions were all an experiment, and Janine wants to destroy the results. Marcus wants Triss to help him save it. She's stuck between Tobias and the fate of their society.
What a horrible position to be in. And Evelyn announces the attack on Erudite, and the factionless are all for it. But Therese and Christina, they question whether it's right to attack civilians. It's a hard question. And Triss tries to talk to Tobias, but he's still not telling her everything. It's frustrating.
Definitely. And then Triss and Christina are preparing for war at Triss's old home. Christina's trying to be upbeat, but Triss is serious. They go to Amity with Marcus. It's dangerous. Christina tries to trick the Amity guards, which is kind of funny in a dark way.
A little bit of humor goes a long way. Then Johanna calls that emergency meeting at Amity. She's asking them to reconsider being neutral, and surprisingly, they agree to fight. Trish shows up with her plan to save the Erudite data. She needs help from people like Kara, who left Erudite.
Makes sense. And then they're all heading to Erudite headquarters in trucks. Dauntless, Amity, former Erudite. It's this crazy alliance. Trish is getting anxious as they get closer, and then gunshots. It's getting real.
Yeah, it's war now. Triss hesitates to use the gun, and Kara's there for her. They sneak into Erudite headquarters. They're climbing ladders. It's dangerous. And then Fernando, he's killed. They're paying a high price.
So sad. And inside, it's chaos. Trish realizes she doesn't have a gun. Then there's this trap in Janine's office, a simulation, and Trish sees Will. It's brutal, but she pushes through it. She has to get to Janine's lab.
She's strong, and when she gets there, Tori's already confronting Janine. It's intense. Tori's so angry, and Janine, she's just cold. Trish tries to get the information Marcus told her about, and Tobias sees them together. It's not good.
It's really not. After the battle, everyone's mourning, dauntless, factionless. They've lost people. Even Peter's there. Trish realizes how to get past Janine's security, but it's too late. Lynn and Janine are dead.
It's over, but at what cost? Johanna tries to make peace with Amity, but Tori's cynical. The factionless, they've got all the guns now. It's a whole new power dynamic. Evelyn and Tori clash. You can see how ruthless Evelyn can be.
And then, when Therese and Tobias are finally talking again, Amanda Ritter broadcasts this message. It's huge. The factions, they were an experiment to make people better, to find a solution for society's problems. And get this, divergent people, they were the goal, the answer. It changes everything.
It's mind-blowing. Everything we thought we knew was a lie. The factions, the conflicts, it was all planned. And the divergent, they were the hope, not the problem. It makes you question everything.
For sure. So much happened in this part of Insurgent. It's crazy. The violence, the betrayals, the shifting alliances, and that truth about the factions. You guys, the listeners, think about it. How destructive conflict can be. How hard it is to be loyal and forgive when everything's so messed up.
Yeah.
And then this huge power shift. And now knowing the truth about the factions and divergence?
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. Now that they know their world was a lie, What are Triss and the others going to do? What choices will they make? How will this change who they are and what they believe?
Exactly. We've only just scratched the surface in this deep dive. Definitely check out the rest of Insurgent to see how it all plays out and how Triss and Tobias deal with this truth. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.